Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Chris here. Ready and capable and able and willing to read our daily reflections for today, and excited to be with you as always. Excited to be here with you guys, sharing right our experience, strength, and hope with each other. Thank you for the comment. I got a nice little comment yesterday about somebody who is not in recovery, but who is getting at least a little something out of this. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. My main goal is to help at least one person, or that this would touch at least some person, even in a small way. You know, that's I hate to call it a goal, because I don't know if I had a goal when I started doing this. I just know that I had a desire. So here we are, and here I am. Let's go ahead and start reading. June 21st. It says, Fear and Faith. The achievement of freedom from fear is a lifetime undertaking, one that can never be wholly completed. When under heavy attack, acute illness, or in other conditions of serious insecurity, we shall all react to this emotion, well or badly, as the case may be. Only the self-deceived will claim perfect freedom from fear. Perfect freedom from fear. That's as Bill sees it, page 263. Fear has caused suffering when I could have had more faith. There are times when fear suddenly tears me apart. Just when I'm experiencing feelings of joy, happiness, and a lightness of heart, faith and a feeling of self-worth toward a higher power helps me endure tragedy and ecstasy. When I choose to give all of my fears over to my higher power, I will be free. Wow, that's a lot, right? Okay, well, let's just read the first sentence over, right? That's a lot for me to understand right now, but let's see what it says. The achievement of fear from freedom. Let's start over. The achievement of freedom from fear is a lifetime undertaking, one that can never be wholly completed. When under heavy attack, acute illness, or in other conditions of serious insecurity, we shall all react to this emotion, well or badly, as the case may be. Only the self-deceived will claim perfect freedom from fear. That's as Bill sees it, page 263. Yep, I get that. I mean, so the big book says that we're driven by 100 forms of fear, or that I'm driven by 100 forms of fear, right? In other words, I've always been in fear my whole entire life. And fear is what was my motivator to do certain things. And while fear was my motivator to like get an education, get a high paying job, try to be try to be in better relationships. The fear was a good motivator, right? But also it came a point where fear kept me paralyzed, right? Fear of success, fear of failure, fear of the unknown, fear of never having enough. I mean, there's some of those fears, even though I could be perfectly fine on the outside, on the inside, I could be paralyzed by those fears, right? And in my alcoholism, I could talk about fear forever, since we're driven since I'm driven by it so many times, whether it be negative or positively, right? It says right here, so no matter how well or badly we that I experience this emotion. So sometimes it can be a motivator, sometimes it could be a paralyzer, right? So the big book talks a lot about fear. It talks about how it should be classified as stealing, right? Because it seems to do more harm. So if I'm in fear, if I'm paralyzed by this fear and I'm doing nothing, I'm stuck, I'm like, I can't move. I keep thinking the same thoughts. I can't get new thoughts. I mean, I'm just stuck. I'm actually stealing time from myself. I'm stealing time. I'm stealing opportunity. I'm stealing success. I'm stealing life from myself by being paralyzed, right? And the other extreme is fear being the motivator. Then I'm in like I could use it. Like, I don't want to go to jail. That's a good motivator for me. So guess what? I do whatever I can to stay out of jail because I don't want to go to jail. So I don't steal because I don't want to go to jail. I mean, and it's embarrassing to get caught for me. I've got caught stealing some bobby pins when I was in high school, and oh man, that was embarrassing. It was like the most embarrassing thing. But you know, and then I stole some cassettes. You know, back then in the days they had these singles. They were in cassette tapes, and there was one that I really wanted. So, and I didn't have money, so I stole it, and I got caught. That was embarrassing. Like, just talking about it embarrasses me. It gives me like this little thing in my gut. So I hated getting caught stealing, and that was one thing that I didn't really like doing. I really didn't like doing because it was so embarrassing getting caught. But I have gone to jail for just doing other things that I shouldn't have been doing. Things that I took really lightly, like, oh, if they catch me, it won't be that bad. Or what can they possibly do to me? Well, they can take me to jail, even if it's just for 1 day or 2 days. I didn't like that. Public intoxication, I was in jail for that a few times, right? Where they just let you sleep it off. Back in the days when DWIs weren't felonies like they are now, there was times that they would just let you sleep it off, or just, you know, just be like, okay, it's gonna be okay, just hang in there, you know. And that's in Bexar County, right? But once they started having felonies, man, it was like book, and they would throw everything at you, right? So it wasn't like it is now. So I did have those opportunities to just sleep it off. But either way, I didn't like jail. So I do whatever I can to stay out of jail. All right, so it talks about that we will never be completely free of fear. And it talked about that a little bit yesterday, and I apologize, I got off topic. But it says we will never be completely fearless, right? We will have I will have fearless moments. I will have fearless times, but I will never be completely free of fear. And then it goes on to say only really a self-deceived person, in other words, a person who's not facing the truth, will say that, like, oh, I'm never scared. What is that? That's cockiness, right? The big book says when we got cocky, it was worse. When we talks about our fears on our 4th step, it says when we got cocky, it was our, man, what are they gonna do to me, man? Those cops, they're not gonna, what are they gonna do, man? They know who I am. Blah, blah. I used to be that person, right? So those, the examples that I give you are sometimes the ones that I experienced personally. So I was self-deceiving myself, because really deep inside I was scared, because I didn't like jail, and I was scared of going to jail, scared somebody passed by, see me, like somebody I went to high school with. I mean, that's one of my biggest fears, that they would pass by and see me and be like, oh, there's that Chris, man, I knew it, he was up to no good. There was something weird about that guy. There he is getting arrested again. There he is getting pulled over again. So I did have that fear. But I did have those moments of cockiness, and I'm grateful that they were short-lived, right? My alcoholism, for those of you who are not familiar with my story, I started drinking at 20, and I never stopped till 27. So I spent 7 years pretty much drinking or drugging every day. In some way, shape, or form for 7 years, and it was horrible. And it took me to the gates of insanity, really. So I'm grateful that I made it out alive. I'm grateful that I made it out somewhat sane, but mostly, you know, and what I feel is good health. So it wasn't always this great, you know. As some of you may know, my eyes were yellow. My body odor smelled like alcohol. I mean, there was a ton of things wrong with me when I got here, but I'm so grateful that I stayed here long enough to where it's not like that for me today. And if something, I mean, I have had health issues, but I take care of them. I repair them. So I get to do that today too, even in sobriety, which is something that I never did back in you know, in my active addiction. So moving on to the fear thing. So I will never be completely free of fear. Well, why, Chris? Well, because I don't know what tomorrow holds. I don't know what tonight holds. I know so far today I did all right. I did have a fear earlier. Prayed about it. I started focusing on something else, and you know, while the fear is still somewhat there, it's not so paralyzing right now. It's I'm grateful that tomorrow there's a chance that I won't have that fear. But you know, till then, what do I do with my life? So this is where the fear can actually be paralyzed, because if I'm afraid of something, even though that I can't even say I'm afraid of getting fired, right? Because my boss wants to meet. This is just a story. It's not true. I mean, it could be true, right? It could be a true scenario. Okay, let's talk. Let me tell you a true scenario. So my boss says yesterday, "Hey, when you get off your lunch, will you come talk to me?" And I said, "Sure." And you know, there's been some stuff going on at work that I wish weren't happening, but they are. So I was a little bit scared, right? Because I wasn't sure what was gonna happen, and I was kind of feeling a little bit down because I had a dream that was kind of a nice dream, but a heavy dream. I dreamt about my mom, so I was feeling a little heavy. So I wasn't real talkative. I wasn't my cheery self, and I was just trying to stay quiet and just do my work, and I killed it, by the way, at work. But you know, so she's like, "Hey, when you get back from your lunch, when you clock in, come see me." And I was like, "Well, okay." And I didn't know what to expect, and so then I went to go see her, and I said, "Okay, I'm off my lunch." But first before that, I went to the restroom, and I was like, I put some water on my face, and I started praying. I said, "Well, I don't know what this is about, but oh God, I'll never just handle it right well." So then I wash my face. I go to my boss. I'm like, "Hey, I'm off my lunch now. You say you want to talk to me?" And she's like, "Okay, just wait for me a second, because I have to go through a long list of a bunch of people." And I'm just thinking like, oh my God, feedback, right? They have some feedback on me. They're gonna want to talk up to me about something. So I didn't know what to do. So I went and sat in the break room, and I was just like, okay, I don't know what this is about, but you know, I just want to have the best attitude. You know, I kept telling myself, I just want to have the best attitude, right? Because the truth is that things aren't always going to go my way, but I want to have the best attitude. My fear is that I will have the worst attitude. My fear is that I will not handle it well. My fear is that I will start making excuses. My fear is that they're going to see a face on me that's not okay. You know, that I'm going to make this face like, or say something like, "That's bullshit," right? But here it is. I don't even know what she wants to talk to me about. So these are like made up fears, which could be paralyzing, right? So, but I don't have time to be paralyzed. And you know, when I'm at work, I don't have time to be paralyzed by my fears. I gotta work on it and keep it moving, right? So she says, "Okay, Chris, I'm ready for you." And then we go to her office, and I think, you know, there's not a lot of private offices at my work, so it's very it takes a little effort to be discreet, right? Let's just say it like that. So then I go, she's like, "Sit down," and I'm like, oh my God. I even said, "Oh, the hot seat," right? And both of my bosses were there, so I thought they were gonna share some feedback with me, and they did. They did share feedback. They were like, "Chris, you know, we enjoy your work. We absolutely, we love your positivity. We think you're a great asset to this company. We love having you on board, and you know, after your review, we decided that you're exceptional. So this is your new pay raise." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Well, I was already like breathing better, breathing easier, because they weren't like gonna chastise me or something, or talk to me about some feedback, which I don't mind. I love talking about feedback. You know, if people have feedback about me, I want to talk about it, because If I need to improve something, I want to get better. Of course, I want to do great at my job. So for me, I love being open to the suggestions or to the feedback because I'd love to improve. Um, so then she gave me the little paper, and I was like hesitant to open it because of my reactions. Like my face cannot lie, man. I'll be horrible at poker, right? Because my face, it just like tells everything. So I've opened it up slowly, and I was like, she goes, "That's what you get paid right now," and she goes, "And that's what you're gonna get paid." And it was this little pink paper, so I folded it, and I was like, look, I'm getting chills just right now, just telling you this story. I was like, I looked down, and I had to have been smiling. Look, I want to cry because I was like, man. I said, "That's what I get paid." She's like, "Yeah." She goes, "I thought you get paid. You didn't know that?" I said, "No, I didn't know that I got paid that." She goes, "And that's what you're gonna get paid." And I was like, I have so much gratitude. I have so much gratitude right now because one, I didn't know I was getting paid that much money. And then two, now I'm gonna get paid a little bit more, and I'm thinking like, oh my God, what a surprise. What a surprise from them telling me, "Hey, come talk to me afterwards." And all I could say, just going back to that moment when I opened that little pink piece of paper, and I just like I could not stop saying thank you, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And just like the year that I've been having, just every little bit helps. And I got a lot of it. And I'm so grateful. I didn't get just a little bump. I got a big bump. And man, I'm so grateful for that. And was I scared for a moment? Yeah. Did I handle it well? Yeah. Did it turn out fabulous? Yes. Does it always happen that way? No. It doesn't always happen that way. I'm grateful for the times that everything works out and everything lines up. But sometimes they don't. There's some things that happen that they don't line up. So it sets in motion perhaps other fears. So I'll never be rid of fears completely. But I do have an option today. I have a solution. I can do things if I get in those fears. I can pray about it. One good thing that I do with my fears or my times of like just these weird thinking moments or these weird feeling moments is I time myself. I'm like, okay, Chris, you're gonna feel this way for like, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to just feel the fear. And then after that, you're gonna have to get up and do something. Even if it has nothing to do with the fear you're feeling, you're gonna get up and you're gonna do something. Even if your next moment has nothing to do with the heartbreak you're feeling, right? Sometimes I'll play a sad song just to make me cry so I can get over it. It works. I'm sorry. Some people say that's the manufacturer of misery. I say, to each his own. Because that works for me. When I'm feeling really sad, I'll play a sad song. I'll cry my heart out for like 3 minutes, and then and then I'll move. Then I move. It's a tool that I use. Why? Because the truth is, I might get my heart broken again. I gotta survive. I might get into another fear. I cannot stay paralyzed. I can get paralyzed, but I don't have to stay paralyzed. I can get my heart broken, but I don't have to stay heartbroken. I can move on. Why? Because I have tools today. I have a solution today that works. I have experience that has taught me that I can make it out of this again. That I can mess up and I don't mean like mess up like habitually drive. You know, I'm gonna pay the consequences for drinking and driving. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday. And those consequences, they keep getting worse, right? So I'm talking about those defects of character that still seem to show up in my recovery. In my recovery, right? If I'm not in recovery, then I don't care how they show up. But because I'm in recovery, I care now. I care what kind of life. I don't want to live a mediocre life. I want to live a badass life. That's just who I am. That's how I like to be. Haven't been all. I feel like I've always been that way, but I haven't been so loud about it like I am now about living an excellent life. I want a life that I could, like, when I go to heaven, I'll be bragging about it. I'll be like, yeah, man, it was awesome. You know, I don't want to go up there, get it up there and be like, whoo, thank God that was over, because it sucked. No, I want to go up there and be like, man, that was freaking awesome. My life was freaking awesome. It started off great and kind of got messy in the middle. And then I blah, 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 made some more mess. But guess what? I overcame. I got out of that, right? Through this program. So when I get in fear today, I have an option, and I'm grateful for that. So if you're in fear today about something, I'm here to tell you that there's an option. Pray about it, meditate it. Do what works for you to get out of your fear. Play that song. Give yourself 5 minutes. Give yourself 10 minutes. But then after that, get up and get out. Do something. Call somebody. Listen, you know, some of the tools that were told about me is watch a funny movie, right? Don't overthink it. Just put a funny movie on and play it, right? Go out and buy yourself the most wonderful meal, whatever you want. Go and eat some ice cream. Walk your dog. Go to the park. Go to the movies. Go swimming. Just do something. Do something you've always wanted to do. Take a road trip. You know, go be silly and take take some pictures with some wildflowers or some, I don't know, go to the museum, do something. Feel it and move. Just keep it moving. I mean, and I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just trying to encourage you that there's a solution. And I pray that you don't stay stuck. I'm so grateful that I had people in my life that were telling me, like, just get up, get up, get up. I had dreams where my pastor was like, get up, get up, get up, Chris, get up, get up. And man, she would like get me off of my bed. I was like, whoa, what was that? It's because I've been listening to her so much on TV and on YouTube that I could hear her in my dreams telling me, get up. And I would literally get up and start doing something. It didn't matter what time it was. There's no time for nothing. Who cares if it's 3 a.m. and you're cleaning your house? Ain't nobody gonna judge you. Who cares if it's 9 a.m. and you're out swimming? Ain't nobody gonna go at 6 a.m. if you want. Go at 5 a.m. Here in Austin, you could go to Barton Springs real early in the morning and get a free swim. Go get it. Just go and get it. I think in my life and in your life, the walls and the boundaries, they're only put there by us, not put there by anybody else. I know God, He's a limitless God, and He doesn't put any limits on me. I'm the one who puts them on myself, whether it by fear or whether it by what people think about me. That's a fear. What are people going to think about me, right? It's all fear. So we'll keep talking more about fear probably, because it is one of for me, it's like it says in the big book, I was driven by 100 forms of fear and self-delusion and self-seeking. So fear is a big one for me. So we'll talk about it more, but for now, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. I love you all so much. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.